This is the 7-Day Theory. I am John Day, bringing you that real, that raw, that uncut. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and follow.
I'm not saying I'm going to rule the world or I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world.
Get to the 7-Day Theory, hard body, hard spirit, and check this. Today I want to talk about what addiction will cost you and the fact that it will cost you everything. Everything, up to and including your own life. Addiction will and can have you lose your life and leave this earth, right? So I'm 38. I've been using hard drugs, pills, heroin, fentanyl since I was 21. I was using before that. My first time I used drugs was at 14. I used alcohol and weed, I think, on the same night. So I've been struggling with addiction my whole life. I have over a year. I had 13 months clean last year straight, and then before that, the longest time I had clean was 9 months. Right now, today, November 11th, 2024, I got 2 months clean. Next month on the 1st, it'll be 3 months. But I have a lot of experience of trying to get clean by myself and trying to get clean through detoxes, through jail, through rehabs, through outpatients. The outpatient that I'm in right now, I'm in aftercare. I've been through that rehab probably 6-7 times, just in that rehab alone. But I've done detoxes where I go for like 6-7 days, get out and use. I just repeat the cycle. I just repeat the cycle, and the whole problem why I kept repeating the cycle of relapsing and then being in active addiction again after I get clean is because I couldn't be honest with myself. That was my biggest problem. I wouldn't reach out for help if I was struggling, and I would hide my cravings. I would hide them. I keep them to myself. Wouldn't tell nobody. I don't do that today. And then if I was struggling, I wouldn't reach out to nobody. I wouldn't share it. I wouldn't talk about it. I go to meetings every Friday. I go to my home group meeting every Friday. Shout out to my home group. But I go there every Friday, and if something is bothering me, I say it. And it's like, and I feel totally at home there. Like, it's like pretty much a family there. So I feel totally comfortable with sharing or just expressing myself the way I need to get help. But yeah, I wasn't honest with myself. But as far as what addiction cost me, addiction cost me almost my life. I've overdosed probably over 10 times, maybe like 15 times. Could be more. I lost count, to be honest. It's sad, but it's the truth. It's really sick because we'll OD and then be on death's doorstep, and then the next day or after I come about the hospital after getting hit with Narcan and going to the hospital, I'll leave the hospital and use. That's how sick this disease is, and that's how insidious the disease is of addiction when it has a hold of you, and it has a hold of your mind, your body, your spirit, literally all of it, and you're a slave to that addiction, to that disease. That disease tells you what to do. When you're in active addiction, you are no longer in control of your thoughts, your actions, or anything about your person. It's all about if I'm sick and withdrawal, and I'm speaking from completely like opiate, fentanyl, heroin side of things. That was my DOC. So the withdrawals from that's what I'm speaking on. That's what I have experience with. I don't have experience with like cocaine, crack, crystal meth, none of that. I never did any of those. But opiates was my DOC, my drug of choice. And as far as what it cost me and how it cost me everything, it cost me my morals, my values, my sense of self-worth, my self-esteem. I would duck and dodge mirrors. What didn't want to see myself in the mirror was sick of my own reflection, to be honest. And it also cost me the more. See, all right. So I grew up without a father, right? I know my father, but he didn't raise me. He wasn't in my life a lot, right? I was raised by a single mother. I lived with my mom my whole life growing up. And so from a young age, I knew that I would be a father, and I knew I wanted to be a great father because I knew the feeling of growing up without a father. I know as far as and being a man and being a young boy or a young man. Young men and boys they're looking for that strong, consistent role model type man to model yourself after and to look to for guidance. And although I did have people that were definitely in my life, like my grandfather, that were role models to me, it wasn't my father. So I always wanted that, and so from a young age I wanted to be a father, and I wanted to be a great father. And that's literally one of my dreams. I believe there's no greater title to a man than father. Like I take pride in that. I wear it like a badge of honor. I got 4 kids. I got 3 boys and 1 daughter. My daughter's my youngest. But so I pride myself on being a father. And when I did become a father, addiction, I was already deep in addiction when I had my first kid in 2010. I had already been using opiates pills since 2006 or 5. From that point, 2005, and so I had my first kid in 2010. So what that did was, me being an active addiction, you can't be the person you want to be. So there's no way that you can be the parent that you want to be, or the parent that a kid needs, especially a young kid needs. Was I there? Yes, I was there. I lived with my son through I don't live with him now, my oldest. I live with my other 3 kids, but my oldest, I lived with him until he was probably like 12 or something like that. 12, yeah, like 12ish. So I was there, but mentally and spiritually, I was not there at all, because you got there, I'm going through withdrawals every day. So if it's just me and him, I'm doing like the bare minimum as far as taking care of him, because I'm sick, I'm withdrawing, I'm depressed, or I need to rip and run, and that takes time away from the kids. If I'm out in the street trying to get money to get a drug, I'm not with my kids. So that also takes the time. So one of my dreams was being a father, and addiction definitely took that away. As far as me, even though I was a father, it took away the way I was a father, and it took away how I was able to parent, and how it handicapped my parenting. Like it made me not good parent at all. And that's the totally opposite of what I wanted to be, because I know what it's like to not have a parent or a father. But it also takes away, I justify stuff. So like I would take things, steal money from my family, from my mom, my grandfather, and I would and before I was in active addiction, I never even thought about stealing, never even thought about stealing, especially not from my family. But I would justify it in my head at the time. When you're going through withdrawals, you are desperate. It feels like you hadn't had anything to eat or anything to drink for like 3 days. You're starving. That's what mentally, that you're starving for this drug, and the disease is telling you that you need this drug to survive. If I'm in addiction and I'm hungry, and someone offered me, if I'm in withdrawal and I'm hungry, someone offered me food or my drug, I'm gonna choose the drug, because if I eat the food, I'm still gonna be sick, still gonna be feeling it. I'm still gonna be stressed and going crazy in my head, and being sick physically from the withdrawals if I eat that food. But if I take that drug, I know all that will go away as soon as I take it. So I would take the drug. But before active addiction, before I got into it, before I was addicted to anything, I never thought of stealing from anybody or my family, for that matter. And I would justify things. I take things without them knowing, and I justify it in a way to where I would, in my head, I would justify it by saying, "Oh, I'll give it back to them, or I'll pay them back before they even know it's gone." You know, that type of shit. And like anything I did bad in my addiction, I would justify and rationalize it in my head as to why I need this. why I need to steal from my family or whoever. I would justify it in my head every time. And because my disease was telling me that I need to do this to feel better, to get my drug. I would rationalize in my head and do these things, but I would never pay him back. I would never pay him back. I would take some, say in my head, oh yeah, I'm gonna pay him back before they even know it's gone, or if they find out, I'm gonna give them the money back, and that would never happen. It was just me being so desperate, and my disease being so desperate for me to use that I went to these lengths that were against my morals and my values. And that's what fentanyl and opiates will definitely have you doing. And then as far as like relationship, all my friends, I had real close friendships before I got real heavy in drugs. I pretty much isolated myself. There was for 2 years, from 2006 to 2008, I didn't work a job at all. Complete bumming. Like wasn't even putting in applications, nothing. I didn't work for 2 years straight, and I was a 20-something, like a 25-year-old, 24-year-old young man, adult, and I was not working. And that's all because I was so depressed and and couldn't keep a job. I would get a job and I'd last for a day, because I'd go in, I'd work that day, and then the next day, if I didn't have money, I'd be sick, and so I'd call off. Or there's been countless jobs where I was on the job, I was so sick and needed a drug so bad, and I was so stressed out from being sick that it was just too much for me to handle, and I would just walk off the job and go home. So yeah, I did that countless times. So for 2 years, I didn't even work at all. So it took that away from me. Like I said, it takes your morals, your values. My spirit, my spiritualness took that from me. My connection with God was damn near zero. Although I did still pray and still believe in God during my addiction, my connection was not there, like, at all, or it was the lowest it could be. But I do think God was looking out for me, because if it wasn't for Him and for the people in my life when I did OD, I would have been dead. If no one found me when I OD'd all these times, I would have definitely been dead. If I didn't have kids, I for sure would have been dead. Because the reason why people were around me is because I'm either with my kids, or I'm in a place where my kids' siblings are at, like their grandmother, or their aunt, or my mom. It's because of my kids I'm around these other people, where I don't live alone. But if I lived alone and had no kids, I most likely would be dead a long time ago. So I definitely feel like I am here for a reason. And that reason for me is, with everything I like destroyed, and relationships lost and friendships lost, it's my job to like clean it up, as far as what I did in my life to destroy it and destroy relationships. And I'm trying to, it's about redemption right now. But the reason why I think I'm still here is because it's to be a father. That's number one. That's like the main reason why I believe I'm here, put on this earth, was to be a father. And I felt that since I was like 17, 18, before I even had a kid. But also is to spread the message and spread awareness, and try to help the next addict or alcoholic. Like, I don't want to just talk. Like, I want talk about like recovery. I don't want to just talk about it and then be Jekyll and Hyde, and be hiding and doing and actually using or doing some shit that ain't true to what I'm saying behind the scenes. No, I want to, where I speak, that what I'm speaking is truth, and that I'm actually putting in actions behind these words, and I'm actually living this way, because that is the only way for me to live, is in truth. That's one of my whole goals too, is to, that what I speak, what I present to the world, that's who I actually am. Because in addiction, for years I'm working at a job, I'm trying to act like I'm not this addict, and I'm not in active addiction, and like I'm this great father and everything. But really, I'm in active addiction. I'm using. I'm overdosing. I'm doing all these things. And I'm trying to hide them. I'm trying to hide them from my kids, my mom, my girl, everybody. I'm trying to hide all that. The only person I wanted to know when I was using was the dude I was buying drugs off of. That's the only person I wanted to know about me using. So for me now in recovery, I have to live as what I present and what I say from my mouth. That's the only way I can do it. If I don't, I'll probably relapse. So yeah, but I'm like I said, addiction takes everything. Your money. I couldn't work a job. So everything. I had a lot of things. I was raised by a single mother. She had a pretty good job just for a lot of my childhood, and I acquired a lot of things, right? Like necklaces, clothes, shoes, movies, DVDs, games, laptops. I had all these things, and those all went to the pawn shop or whoever buys DVDs and video games. So I lost in there almost a lot of my clothes I sold, jewelry, everything, anything that was worth value that I knew I can get money off of from. It was gone because like I said, for 2 years I didn't work, so almost all that I had I was selling, and I kept doing that throughout my addiction years. Like I said, I'm 38. I've been using opiates since 21. So that's almost 20 years. In like 4 or 5 years, like 3-4 years, it would be 20 years that I was using. Yeah, so it takes your money, it takes your pride, your dignity, your spirituality, just even putting that type of substance into your body is disrespecting yourself. So this is why I'm big on in recovery and like just telling people, uplifting people, and telling people like you're proud of them. Not just your family members, your friends, whoever, because a lot of people don't hear that, and a lot of people need to hear that, because a lot of times somebody, that's all somebody wants. Like they're doing everything in their life so that their parents or somebody can be proud of them, and some or most of the times even if they are successful, their parents might not tell them that, even if they're totally successful in every aspect of life, they might not get that. So I'm big on that. I'm big on not disrespecting myself and uplifting myself and other people. I refer to myself as a king, right? I don't say I'm a king, or I don't call other people kings and queens because I want to rule over people or I want this authority or power. No, I've spent years being a drug addict, and we're looked at in society by some people, not all, but some, as like the lowest of the low, scum, dirt, junkie, fiend. These words are used to describe us. We're almost described and shown in media as less than human, right? So when I get clean and I'm talking to other people, I like to uplift them, like to tell them, like, you're a king, you're a queen, respect yourself, because for years we were disrespecting ourselves. And not only we were disrespecting ourselves, but society as a whole was disrespecting us because of our lifestyle and because of our disease that we had no control over. Quick rundown. So addiction cost me my kids' relationship with my kids, my ability to be a good father, money, time, family relationships, stole from family, you know what I mean? My friends, I didn't hang. I would isolate for years. I didn't want to be around anybody, especially when I was withdrawing. I wanted to be just completely alone because I was so frustrated and so depressed that I just wanted to be by myself, isolated, and I just kept feeding that. Like, I didn't even want the lights on. I wanted to be in total darkness, like a damn vampire for real. When I was withdrawing, I didn't want the shades open, nothing. Like sunlight, like, it's so crazy because now sunlight, I love getting sunlight. But when I was in addiction, withdrawing, I didn't even want to look at the sun. Didn't even want to know the sun was up. There was days I'd wake up and be mad that I woke up. That's how shitty and depressed my life was at the moment. So yeah, friendships, jobs, your morals, your values. Those are some of the things. Because I don't care how much money I have. I'm not rich at all. I'm more on the poor side. I'm not rich by any means. Like not in the slightest. But right now I'm spiritually rich. And if you're spiritually rich, it don't matter if you got negative in your bank account. If your bank account is in negative, if you're spiritually rich, I believe, or at least for me, I'd still be happy because when you're spiritually rich, I think gratefulness comes along with that. So, because I've been homeless, I've been in jail, I've been in rehabs. So today I'm grateful, first of all, just to wake up, right? And then I'm grateful for like truly grateful for the little things. Like I look forward to drinking my first cup of coffee in the morning. I'm grateful for that. I have a Keurig that I could put a little cup in, press the button, and it makes me hot coffee. I'm literally grateful for that. I'm grateful just to be in my kids' lives and be present and in the moment with them. Because in active addiction, I was always trying to just either I was too high to even function correctly, or I was in withdrawal and I was thinking about how can I get my fix, and thinking about the future, about not being sick and when can I get my next fix because I'm fucking miserable and depressed and sick like I got the flu right now. So I'm grateful to be present, to be able to help my kids. I just came from my kids. They had a little Veterans Day play where they sung songs. Like I was grateful to get to see my son smile when we walked in the room. Little things like that I'm truly grateful for. And when you're spiritually rich, that's what comes along with it. I believe that gratefulness is one of the most underestimated tools that you can use in life. When you're grateful for something, it doesn't mean you have to have it doesn't have to be a valuable thing as far as money wise to be grateful for something. You can be grateful for love, for a relationship, for your kids. You know what I mean? Anything that you like. And another thing recovery got me, cost me was like I lost myself, so I didn't know even who I was or wanted to be. And with recovery, I gained that. Like I know what I want to do. I know who I want to be. I know the things I like to do now. I was an artist. I drew since I was a kid. When I was in addiction, I didn't draw a motherfucking thing, like nothing at all, nothing. Every time I got clean, and even now, I would begin drawing. I do that. I work out. I like to read. I read. It's just about when you can get up out that fog, and now you got clarity, and you can think clearly and see clearly. You start to find out these things that you like to do, and things that you want to, and goals that you have that you want to accomplish. So yeah, addiction cost me everything, and I promise you, it will cost you up to or including your own life. Because like I said, I should be dead for real. With how many times I overdosed and how close I was to death. So yeah, while addiction will cost you everything, and it did cost me everything, the silver lining in all this is that if you do get clean, or if you do get sober and you start living in this way of life, and living by these principles in recovery, that you can get those things back. Even relationships that you thought you might have never got back, it's possible to get those back now, because the universe, and it moves according to how you move. You know, you're gonna get what you put in. So, and it's not guaranteed. Trust me. Just because you're doing the right thing does not mean your life is about to be sunshine and fucking roses. That does not mean just because you're doing good in life that you're about to get all these blessings. That's not how it works. I do good because it's the right thing to do. No matter if I get rich tomorrow or I die a poor man, I'm still going to do the right thing. I'm going to do what's in my heart that I know is the truth and that I know is right, because that's what's in my heart to do. It's in my spirit. I got God in my spirit. Put it that way. So yeah, that's the silver line. Like, even though addiction can't cost you everything, if you get in recovery, you get clean, you can get those things back. I'll be going for a minute though, so I'm gonna make some more videos like this. Let me know what y'all think. 7 Day. I'm out.